Oh, Tyler. So, this isn't your cliffhanger. What the heck are you going to do for the cliffhanger? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Sistas. This is season 1, episode 22. And this was totally cliffhanger worthy for a season ending, but so I'm interested to see what it is that Tyler's going to do going forward. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Okay, so first Tyler started off by getting on my nerves with some bull crap, some complete bull crap. This whole thing where we ended is that the dead woman's mother had pulled a gun on Karen and her mother. It's a toy gun. For real, Tyler? Did you actually have a straight face when you sat and wrote this in that this was a toy gun? Quit playing. I just was like, whatever. Anyway, then she kept telling him, well, she has a brother, and you wait until her brother comes. Like, lady, what's wrong with you? So now we got this whole threat, this apparent threat of this brother that's coming to set it off. Listen, Miss Lisa was letting her know, honey, she cussed her out. Cussed her out. Told her, get out of here, bitch. And if he come over here and set it off, trust me, I'm the one he wants to see, because I am 100% that bitch. Because after the woman left, Aaron showed up, and Miss Lisa took him outside, tore him down, told him, don't be playing with me and pretending to be so good and so wholesome and all of that. You got some shit with you, some bullshit. And I'm on to it, and I see through you. I don't like what you give it. And if her son comes by here and try to set it off, baby, I'm that bitch, and I'm going to set it off. And everybody's going to be sorry. I was like, yes, Lisa. And got on her motorcycle and left. I was here for it. Moving on. So, Leslie, and and I'm not liking this. Again, this whole way of Tyler portraying these LGBTQIA characters. Leslie's so thirsty. Now she's after Fatima. She went down, it was her and Morris showed up down at Andy's job. And Morris goes to talk to Andy's boss. And Leslie's after Fatima. They agreed to actually meet at a coffee shop after she told her, I'm not into girls, this, that, thing, and the other. And she's like, well, she lured her in basically given, well, I want to talk to you about Andy. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. I said, okay, Fatima. But, Fatima will handle herself. And then Morris comes out and tells Leslie he had to let her go. Because everything down there didn't work out the way he thought it was. He had to let her go. She said, but you ain't even paid me from the last few things that I did for you. And he was like, yeah, well, whatever. And let her go. I said, oh, gosh, that's cute. She told me, you really are an asshole. I was like, child, duh. Moving on. Sabrina and Calvin. Calvin then got totally drunk. And then he gets into his thug act about, you want me to treat you bad? You want somebody to treat you bad, and he got to telling her, he'll say, you're really a bitch. A bitch. And I should just slap the shit out of you. I was like, really? He went through all of that. It was really bad drunk acting. It was bad drunk acting, but whatever. He's supposed to have been drunk. She ended up getting up and going and throwing a bucket of cold water on him. I was like, really? Who does that? What's up their floor? I'd just put him out. But anyway, Then he starts telling her the story about his uncle, how his father's made him spend time with his biological uncle when he was 9, and the uncle made him have sex with a woman that was a 40-year-old. I said, really? Okay, whatever. A mess, a hot mess. And we know these things happen. These things like this happen. It's, the whole thing, Uncle something, you're not going to be no pansy or sissy or whatever word he was using. Um, yeah, made him sleep with a 40-year-old. That's what he was telling Sabrina. He said, I may not be able to do this, I may not be able to do that, but I know how to fuck. I said, oh, well. In the midst of all that, he ended up going to the bathroom and falling asleep on the floor. And Sabrina says to him, and he never heard her, but this is just building to their connection. She said, "Me too." So someone in the family obviously molested her as well. So this is going to be the connect between Sabrina and Calvin. She put him in the bed. He's all drunked up, and he's telling her, do you want me to, what he kept telling her to tell him that she loved him. And she said, I love you. And he said, no, you don't. You don't mean it. You don't mean it at all. But you will. One day you will mean it. I said, well, there you go, you guys. Calvin and Sabrina are going to be together. End of story. Moving on. Zach and Danny. They basically are sitting around teasing each other. She's teasing him about the fact that she told him that whole thing with Karen. She ain't screaming and hollering and yelling about the baby. She don't like you no more. She's done with it. It's over. It's finished. And he's teasing her about the fact that Preston ain't called her. Moving on. Leslie meets up with Fatima. And this really weird exchange where they go into this whole thing. And there's like this trade-off where she's like, she has information that can help Andy, but why should I help her? What am I going to get out of it? Which was really sleazy. And then she tells her, well, I got a friend named Nikki. And she's like, oh, so you just going to treat me cheap and try to trade me off to your friend? And she's like, everybody likes Nikki. And she's like, meet me at the club at so-and-so and so time. And then Nikki will be there. And then... or meet Nikki at the club at so-and-so time. And then, like a half hour later, Andy would be there. How many of you all believe that Nikki is Fatima? Okay? Because that's what I got. I said, this is all too weird, stupid to me. Anyway, let's talk about Karen and Andy. Karen, sitting at her shop, Andy shows up because she had gotten a phone call from her job that told her, come down within an hour. She showed up, she had this badass white suit on. I said, come on through, Andy. She be ragging. She rags. She came through there, and again, they go into their little thing where they're always pushing each other into these stupid little things that they do. And she says, yeah, she said how she been thinking about Zach, and she ain't really done with Zach. Long story short. Karen said to her about Gary, and she's telling her how when she got the phone call, she's explaining but not really explaining. And Karen said, what is up with Gary in these mood swings, and then he's showing violent tendencies, and are you actually paying attention? No, she ain't paying attention because she don't want to see it. She don't want to see it. And anyway, she said, I'm gone. I'm leaving. I'm going on down to the job for this meeting. That damn Karen. Karen looked at her and said, you look good, girl. And when she walked the door, said, even though you get ready to get fired, child. I said, oh, it's her shady. Shady. Anyway, so then we see Gary actually leaving out of Andy's place, and Jasmine is out there. Baby, she done spray painted all over his car, his white, I think it was a white Mercedes, with black spray paint. busted out all the windows. They got to arguing back and forth. They in the parking lot. She ends up grabbing a bat and beating him down with the bat. Because they were having this little argument back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And she told him that he told her he knew about her remorse. She was doing everything to get under his skin, basically to make him jump on her, so she could press charges because that's the games that she played. And he told him that she'd been sleeping with Morris and what you gonna do about it. And then told him, and you done came there. I slept with him most of the nights that you were gone, and then you came back there and laid right on the sheets that he left his juices on, and they had dried up. He's like, I don't care nothing about that. And then when she got him, baby, she said, didn't your mother die in a house fire? She took and had an urn with his mother's ashes and start pouring the ashes from the urn into the gas tank of the car and set the car on fire. Him and her get to going back and forth. She jump up on him, baby. She's on his back, beating him down. She's beating and scratching and clawing and carrying on. And he's trying to get her off his back, and he actually bumps the back of the wall that the car was parked by, and she falls over the wall and down literally 2 stories. And y'all had to catch that she fell down 2 stories, okay? Because we actually saw in the visual, boom, she falls over, and then we hear her scream. You see 2 people on the next level down that look and see the bitch go flying past, and then she keep going down, and then boom, she falls on top of this blue car. And then she's down there. Look what you did to me. Oh my God. Don't let me die. Look, you did this to me. And I'm like, this is some bullshit. If she's not dead, then she needs to be. 2 stories. She fell. She a little tiny little something. She done fell 2 stories and bust her back on a car to the point where the hood is all crunched and all the windows busted out. When I say she bust her back bam, on the car. I said, oh. So she should be dead. She should be down there talking about nothing. But anyway, this is the 2 things that I'm thinking. Either he's going to be stuck with her, and because she's paralyzed and all balled up, if she don't die, he'll be stuck with her, and Andy still won't be able to have him. Or he's going to end up in jail for involuntary manslaughter or just flat out murder. So it's going to be one of the 2 with this little situation. But we got to see how Tyler's going to spin it. But child, it made for a good, it really would have made for a good ending. But there's like 3 more episodes left, y'all. So I don't know. Come on, Tyler. Let's see what you do. I'll talk to y'all later.